I'm well. How are you? I'm a little surprised. I thought the plan we had was good, and I was surprised that we're making conservative decisions these past few weeks. So this is a bit of a turnaround. And I'm a little concerned because the framework was based upon what we modeled for Alpha, the previously dominant variant, and now Delta is the dominant variant. So the thresholds for acceptable levels of vaccination have kind of shifted. I would have preferred had we waited until more people had two doses of them. But we're here now, and I hope that public health is ready to go and ready to suppress new cases as they arise. Probably not, to be honest. I mean, frankly, I would hope that stage three would have been pushed off a few more weeks as we ramp up vaccination. That's right. So Pfizer is basing their decision on a small sample size study. And there's some data out of Israel suggesting at the population level there is waning immunity. But there's some caveats to that. First, as I mentioned, it's a small sample size. Second, probably not observing the same thing in the USA yet. And third, they're looking mostly at antibodies, not at the other kind of immunity, the cellular immunity, as we call it, T cells and so forth. So it might be premature. I wouldn't put a lot of predictive value on this just yet. But boosters, I think, are inevitable at some point, not just to address the waning immunity, but also to address the need to attack new variants. So in the future, I expect we'll have multivalent vaccines that have pieces of various variants in them to give us broad spectrum immunity. But it's a bit too early to make predictions. So I look at the number of people with at least one dose for two reasons. One, it tells us how many people have at least some immunity, and the second thing it tells us is the soft upper limit to the number of people willing to get two doses without much cajoling. And we seem to be plateauing around 70 to 80%, and we have to get that number higher. So it tells us we got to work a little harder to get the vaccine resistant on board with the plan. That means unrolling all the incentivization programs, getting your friends involved to talk to vaccine hesitant people, and to roll out some good science literacy and education materials. Yeah, it means we have to reassess the opening plans and look at where the vaccine hesitancy is, because that's where the hotspots are going to be when outbreaks inevitably happen. I don't think we're going to close down society again. We're going to have rolling outbreaks that are a bit more localized. So we have to be able to nimbly address them with public health assets. So it's a new game now. Vaccines have changed the game, but the game isn't over. Don't assume the worst. For right now, it's still a variant of interest, right? It hasn't been graduated to a variant of concern yet, and we do that when we think it's challenging to our therapeutics or diagnostics or prevention measures. And as you noted, it was first seen in Peru, and it's pretty common in Central America. We only have 11 cases in Canada, and so far, all signs point to our vaccines working. The mRNA vaccines are phenomenal. They have broad spectrum immunity, and they seem to be at least a little bit effective against all the known variants. So long as we keep on getting our vaccinations, we should be able to get a handle on this. It doesn't change what you and I have to do. We have to make sure we get our two shots and encourage our friends to get two shots. Thank you.